Okay, here we are again, dear friends. It's now 6 p.m. I'm on my way home. I've just left work, and I was hoping to continue the recording by midday, but it didn't work out. So here we are, and I was talking about the foundation, the Christian foundation of a Christian marriage. I was talking about God's design for marriage that most of us, as I said, absolutely ignore. The majority of people absolutely ignore the fact that God created marriage, and we simply cannot expect to have successful marriages if we are going to take God out of the equation. And it's unfortunately a common occurrence, and it's all too common now for people to just do their own things. They set themselves up for serious disasters, for serious failure in their married lives, and hoping against hope that by relying on their own wisdom and ignoring the wisdom of the Word of God, things will just work out well. After all, who needs God, they say? After all, who needs God, so they say. But I was saying that God has a purpose for your marriage, for your current marriage, and for your future marriage. And I'm addressing myself to people who want to have real success in their marriages. Yes. And I'm saying that if you want to be serious with your marriage, if you want your marriage to yield genuinely amazing results, you want to have a successful marriage, a truly successful marriage, then it follows that you should put God into that equation, into the equation of your relationship. You cannot have it any other way. What is the measure that you use to gauge yourself? What is the measure that you use to define the success of your relationship? What is the measure that you use to define the success of your marriage? If God is not in that equation, I can almost guarantee you that you are headed for disaster. Yes, you are headed for disaster. I think the evidence is very clear before the nations. The evidence is very, very conspicuous and clear. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to see the real consequences of ignoring God. And I said, you quickly realize that if you want to be serious in your relationship, you want to be serious in achieving the real effectiveness, you want to have a truly successful marriage, then you have to realize that marriage was not designed to make you happy. So if you are entering marriage thinking that the broken man that you are getting married to, the broken woman that you are getting married to, is going to give you happiness, is going to give you joy and fulfillment, you are entering that marriage miserable, unfulfilled, so lonely. You're so miserable with your money, with your home, you are so miserable. And you think by finding a wife, then things will fall into their places. Then you are living in fantasy land. Yes. Yes. You've been lied to. You think marriage will bring you happiness. Because if you don't have happiness, the only happiness that you'll get in your marriage, that's it, yeah? The only happiness that you have in your marriage is the happiness that you bring in. You can't suck the air out of the room before you are married and think that when you enter marriage, things will somehow magically change. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. That you just do whatever you want, live however you want, mess yourself up, be miserable with everybody. And then now you think your wife will sort out all your unhappiness. That's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. So then the question remains, of course, so what is the true definition of a successful marriage? But for you to understand the true definition of a successful marriage, you have to understand the design for marriage, the purpose for marriage, the objective for marriage, the function of marriage, the real reason why God reached down into the dirt and then fashioned a man in his image. And then afterwards, in his image and likeness, of course, then afterward, he said, it is not good for the man to be alone. I will make him Eve. I will make him a helper. I will make him a woman. So, once you understand that, then you will realize that marriage is bigger than your happiness. Now, I'm not saying that there is no happiness in marriage. Absolutely not. Those are not my words. In fact, on the contrary, there is a lot of joy and happiness in marriage. If you do things right, and if you approach marriage with the right mindset, with the right understanding, So, I'll be walking through the series of the foundations of the Christian marriage, God's initial design for marriage, which stands until today, by the way. God's design for marriage stands and remains until today. It has never ever been undone, has never ever been overthrown, has never ever expired. God's design for marriage has never expired. It remains the same. It's enduring throughout the ages. All right, see you guys at another time. I think that is it for now.